I graduated from IIT Kanpur. This is quite a long back, about more than 30 plus years back. And I then worked in corporates because at the time, the awareness about the social sector was not as pronounced as it is now. And I worked with organizations like HP, IBM, Accenture, also worked with 2 startups. And my last job was with Patni Computer Systems, where I was senior vice president and head of one of the global business unit. So in 2011, Patni was getting acquired by another organization. So that's the time I decided to come out. And I had a lot of interest in the social sector, but because of my job responsibilities, I could not do much there. So I thought that, now is the time that I have time on hand to spend, to understand the social sector. So my last 11 years, I've been in the social sector, and my first 5 years were all related to learning and understanding from very good organizations and their founders as to what are the work that they're doing, how they decided to choose those fields, how they went about addressing their interventions, and if they encountered any challenges in addressing that, what were those and how they went about addressing them. So there was a lot of learning that I went through. And I also, in these 5 years, I also volunteered for 1.5 years with a not-for-profit organization called Global Action on Poverty. And this was the organization which is focusing on helping change makers scale their initiatives. So it was here that I came across some very good like-minded people. And a few of us got together and we felt that while we are supporting the change makers to scale their interventions, there was also an opportunity, given our diverse background, to pick up a large problem in the social sector and try and see that whether we can address it. So even if we tried and failed, it was much better than not trying it at all. So that was really the motivation that got us started. And then the issue was that what is the big problem that we are going to focus on? Because all the domains in the social sector were equally unknown to us. So we said the first thing we have to do is to focus on one domain. Then we can do something deeper to understand what it is. So somebody in the team suggested that why not focus on education? So we said, okay, fine. So let's try and see what could be a big problem in the field of education. And it was here that we started connecting with a lot of, very good organizations that were doing work in the field of education for the underprivileged. And at the same time, we started looking at the secondary data to understand what is the statistics about the field of education. So it was here we came across 2 very startling statistics from the Education Ministry. The first one was that as per Education Ministry, nearly 70% of all school-going children in India are in the villages. So we said, oh my God, if that is the largest number of children population is in villages, then we said that we will only focus on children in the villages and try and see what could be a big problem that they're facing. So that's what got us to focus on the children in the villages. And we don't work with children in the urban areas, but we only work for children in the villages. So given that, the other thing that we came across was the thing related to the statistics was that 74% of all school-going children in India do not go to college. They drop out at class 12th or before that. So now this is a all India statistic. So we said that, okay, if this is the all India statistic, then let's try and see what it means in the village context. And we were very surprised to find that in the village context, this translates into 90 to 95% of all school-going children in the villages do not go to college, they drop out much earlier. So then we said that, okay, if that is the case, then let's try and see what happens to these children when they grow up. So we started studying that, and what we found was that as it is in the villages, these children are growing up with 2 main handicaps. One is inadequate education, and the second is that they also lack well-developed life skills like self-esteem, communication, confidence, teaming, empathy, resilience, values, and so on and so forth. Now, when they grow up, as it is, there are no opportunities like jobs, etc. in the villages. The factories are also very minuscule compared to the 6.5 lakh villages we have in our country. So where is the opportunity for them? They take to low value jobs like being a laborer in the agriculture field or a laborer in the construction area or filling petrol in the nearby petrol pump, etc. Now, initially it seems to be okay when they start off, but when they get married and have children, that's when they realize that the meager earnings from their low value jobs are inadequate to address the needs of the family. And it is here that they get into a negative spiral. They think that they're good for nothing, and then they start taking to alcohol, to violence, to crime and corruption.